The Galactic Council had dismissed humanity as nothing more than clever primates with delusions of grandeur. When the first human colony ships limped into the Outer Rim territories 50 years ago, the elder species, the Vorthon Empire, the crystalline Nexari, and the gas-dwelling Ethereals barely spared them a glance. Humans were granted the most inhospitable worlds. Barren rock planets, toxic atmospheres, systems so far from trade routes that even pirates avoided them. "Let them struggle," High Counselor Thexan had declared, his four arms gesturing dismissively. "Perhaps in a few centuries they'll learn humility." The galaxy forgot about the humans. That was their first mistake. Commander Zara Chen stood on the observation deck of the mining station orbiting Kepler 442c, watching the latest batch of recruits disembark from the transport shuttle. They looked tired, worn down by the journey from Earth's overcrowded cities to this remote corner of space. But Chen saw something else in their eyes. The same stubborn determination that had carried humanity through ice ages, world wars, and the near-extinction event that had finally forced them to the stars. "How many this time?" asked Dr. Marcus Webb, joining her at the viewport. His weathered hands clutched a steaming cup of synthetic coffee, a luxury even here on the frontier. 3,000, Chen replied. "Engineers mostly, a few xenobiologists, some miners who got tired of scraping rare Earth elements from asteroid belts." Webb nodded, understanding the unspoken truth. These weren't just settlers or workers. They were pieces of humanity's greatest weapon, a weapon the galaxy would never see coming because they fundamentally misunderstood what humans truly were. The Vorthan had their plasma cannons that could crack moons. The Nexari possessed crystal ships that moved faster than light by folding space itself. The Ethereals commanded technology so advanced it seemed like magic, manipulating matter at the quantum level. But humans? Humans had something none of them possessed. The desperate ingenuity of a species that had clawed its way to the top of a hostile food chain on a planet that had tried to kill them in every way imaginable. Chen remembered the early days when human colonies were barely surviving on worlds with temperatures that would freeze methane or atmospheres so acidic they could dissolve metal. The Galactic Council had expected them to fail, to come crawling back begging for better territories. Instead, humans did what they always did. They adapted. On Kepler 442c, where the atmosphere was mostly sulfur dioxide and the surface temperature could melt lead, human engineers didn't just build domed cities. They created underground civilizations that thrived in the planet's geothermal vents. They learned to harvest energy from the toxic storms and developed new alloys that grew stronger in the corrosive environment. On Proxima Centauri b, where radiation levels would kill most species in minutes, humans didn't just build shelters. They bioengineered themselves, developing radiation-resistant variants while their AI companions evolved new forms of quantum computing that could function in the electromagnetic chaos. Every impossible world became a laboratory. Every challenge became an opportunity for innovation. "Sir?" Lieutenant Rodriguez's voice crackled through the comm system. "We're receiving transmission from the Vorthon fleet. They're demanding tribute from all Outer Rim colonies." Chen and Webb exchanged glances. The Vorthon Empire had been expanding aggressively, conquering system after system. Their latest demand wasn't surprising, just poorly timed. "Patch me through to the colony networks," Chen ordered. Within minutes, her image appeared on screens across 57 star systems. In underwater cities on ocean worlds, in solar collectors orbiting dying stars, in the crystalline caverns of tidally locked planets, humans paused in their work to listen. "Friends," Chen began, "the Vorthan Empire believes we owe them tribute. They think our scattered colonies are easy targets." A slight smile crossed her face. "They're about to learn why you never corner a human." The response was immediate. Across the Rim territories, humanity's secret weapon activated. Not a device or a ship, but a network. On a world where humans had learned to manipulate gravity, fields, massive launchers hurled projectiles at relativistic speeds toward Vorthan positions. From planets where extreme pressure had forced the development of new physics, weapons that could collapse space-time itself emerged from hidden installations. The most devastating attacks came from the most unlikely places. A research station, studying black holes, had learned to create microsingularities. A farming colony on a high-radiation world had developed biotechnology that could rewrite DNA in real time, turning the Vorthan's own immune systems against them. But perhaps most terrifying of all was the coordination. While other species had built empires through conquest and control, humans had created something unprecedented, a truly cooperative civilization. Every colony shared its discoveries instantly. Every breakthrough became part of the collective human arsenal. The Vorthan fleet, expecting to face scattered primitive settlements, instead encountered a coordinated defense network that spanned light years. Their advanced ships found themselves outmaneuvered by vessels that seemed to defy known physics, crewed by beings who treated impossible odds as a personal challenge. High Admiral Corvin, commanding the Vorthan assault fleet, watched in horror as his dreadnoughts were systematically dismantled by weapons that shouldn't exist, wielded by a species that had been dismissed as barely sentient. "How?" he whispered, as another of his ships simply vanished, consumed by a weapon that folded space around it. The answer came from Captain Sarah Kim, whose converted mining ship had just crippled a Vorthan cruiser using a gravity weapon derived from asteroid mining. "Equipment. You gave us the worst planets in the galaxy and expected us to fail. Instead, you gave us the perfect testing grounds to become something you never imagined." Within 72 hours, the Vorthan fleet was in full retreat. The news spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Humanity, the species that had been relegated to the cosmic equivalent of a ghetto, had just handed one of the most powerful empires in known space a decisive defeat. But the real shock came when human representatives arrived at the Galactic Council chambers. They didn't come seeking revenge or demanding territory. Instead, they offered something unprecedented: partnership. "We've learned to thrive in places you considered uninhabitable," Ambassador Elena Vasquez addressed the stunned assembly. "We've developed technologies born from desperation and innovation. We're not here to conquer or rule. We're here to show you what becomes possible when survival isn't just hoped for, it's demanded." The galaxy had wanted humans to learn humility. Instead, they had learned the most dangerous lesson of all: underestimate humanity at your own peril. The species that had survived ice ages, plagues, and world wars had taken the galaxy's rejection and forged it into their greatest strength. And this was only the beginning.